Bobby's late to the interview, so there's only one thing to do. Put on as many things as I can from the shelf. Is there a jersey in here?
Doesn't look like it.
There's a scarf over here.
The credentials.
Should I put on the shirt? No, that would be too much.
The black and gold one. I like the city skyline. Let's get a close up of it.
My name is Bobby Mackenzie. I'm the head coach and sporting director here at Forge FC. Today I'm going to be playing both roles. Although I feel like Bobby wouldn't look this ridiculous. Did you want a photo?
Do I want a photo?
Why does Corey have the camera at me? I'm in a serious conversation.
This is what happens when you leave me in your office alone for 15 minutes.
I thought maybe you'd make a coffee.
No.
You got something going on.
I just grabbed as much as I could.
Surprised you're not having a scotch too.
I almost opened this bottle of wine.
Let's hear from the coach. This is Behind the Beard with Bobby Smirniotis, Forge FC head coach and sporting director. Now, the woman who takes us there, here's Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio Network.
I've got a few more sitting on something.
Okay, let me get into my.
Yes. You got a little warm?
It's hot. It's hot. Where did this come from?
Our preseason visit to Stelco. Team went and visited the factory, I guess you would be. Yeah. Is that my scarf too? Where did that come from?
Nowhere.
Is that how it was folded there, or just?
Yeah, it's like I was never here.
And you were. I had a few props going on here.
I really had to play the part.
Surprised you didn't find a picture of me without a beard.
I had to play the part. Yeah, I know.
Episode 62.
19. We actually got it wrong last week.
Yeah, because we said 17 last week.
Yeah, and I was so excited because I thought you had it right, but no, it was wrong.
Just taking a wild guess.
Next week's 20. We got to do something. We got to bake a cake or. Okay. Oh.
Where are we at this week?
We'll get down to business.
Do we have the ball in
the shot? No. Yeah, that was crazy. Did you see that, Corey? Oh, I was like, where's the ball?
Oh, yeah.
You stand up, it's right underneath me.
There you go.
It's okay.
It's a good chance that ball's from 2010.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're 13 years later, just doing it.
Are we doing math
again? We're doing it again. We're doing it again. So today, we'll talk about some recent matches. We'll talk about KJ's call up to the national team, some potential playoff scenarios a little later on. But let's start with Valor Forge on Sunday.
Yes.
I was listening to the post-match press conference, as always, and I thought it was interesting how both you and Abu spoke to the resilience of Forge, especially, in that stint where you were down 2-1. So can you just talk a little bit about what you think clicked, especially going into that second half and being down for a little bit?
Yeah, first and foremost, I thought in the second half we came out with a lot more energy, a lot more control of the game. As a coach, you talk about a few things at halftime, but in the end of the day, you don't know if the catch is on with the players.
Yeah.
I think it caught on starting in that second half. The guys showed a lot more energy and urgency just to take the game to our opponent. I think in the first half we started off well and we get the early goal, and sometimes an early goal gives you a false sense of security. Mm-hmm. And it quickly showed that that's what happened with them tying up the game. So again, second half, I thought we were playing some very good football. We give up that second goal, and we're not going to talk about too much of the scenario of the second goal. We've given up, and it happened. We had to deal with it, but we had a great response from the group. We talked about going into this game, and no matter which way it were to come about, but 3 points is what we needed.
Yeah.
If it was the most aesthetically pleasing way or not, it's something we needed to do because it's a place where we've gone in the last few years and just haven't been able to get the result against them. Call it the field, call it circumstances, hasn't been there for us, and it was an important 3 points at the end of the day.
Well, even Abu said that what you said at halftime seemed to resonate with him. And same with Woobs. I asked him the same question this morning. And he also mentioned that changing formation also kind of made a difference for him. So can I ask about the process of that as a coaching staff? How do you go about making those changes at half?
Yeah, well, it's important as a coach in the game, we don't have much to do. We've done all of our work in the week. What we need to see is if the team needs any little tweaks, if there's certain areas of the pitch where we can take an advantage of better, play certain players, who have certain qualities in our team in certain areas of the pitch. And that's the one thing, we looked at as, in the second part, I'd say after the 30th minute. At that point, I didn't feel that the team was ready for a switch and just wanted to keep things as they were. But going into halftime, where you can really explain what we wanted, it's something we worked on in the week. We were prepared for, and just making sure we had the finer points with the guys in our halftime talk, and works out in the second half.
Yeah, I guess that's not something that you can do from the sidelines halfway through the first half. So.
Yeah, it is. But sometimes, maybe there's some finer things you want to discuss, and you also don't want to unsettle the team sometimes within the game. And I didn't think we were at a good point in that half where we can change things up the way we wanted. So we left it till halftime.
Okay. So more so situational.
Yes.
Not impossible. Let me correct what I
No.
said there. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about KJ, because as I mentioned earlier, yesterday it was announced that he's been called up to the U17 national team, so he'll play 2 friendlies this weekend against Brazil. We know now that, there's nothing that you love more than continental football. That's a quote from you, actually. But
That is true.
what can you say about KJ? Because, as a young player, he now has this opportunity to represent Canada at the national level.
Yeah, listen, first and foremost, he's been doing an excellent job. He's had an excellent season this year, and his season has been with Sigma in League One Ontario, and he's been excellent there, training with us week in, week out here at Forge. And, he's gotten a start in the last game, and he's gotten a start because, he's done all the business in training. Like I said, he's had an excellent season monitoring all the games with Sigma. His training here over the last few weeks has been absolutely excellent. So it comes with good timing, and it's always interesting timing. He's putting himself into the lineup here, and off he goes.
Of course, right?
Into a camp, which is also important for his development. The under-17s are preparing for the World Cup, and he's definitely a player. When you have the pedigree to play in the starting 11 of Forge, you have the pedigree to be starting in an under-17 World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said that this morning too. He already feels like he's going into that environment with so much more confidence because of not only this weekend, but he's been training with you guys since preseason, and we also talked about that. So how have you seen him even just progress over these past couple months with the team?
Yeah, the biggest thing is always when you're looking at young guys is just confidence. Is them understanding first. They get rid of that nervous little bit feeling. Then they have the sense of belonging, and then they have the sense that they can make a difference. And you usually see those phases. For some players, it comes early. For some players, each phase takes a little while. And I think for him, it's just making sure that we always gave him the confidence and understanding that his qualities can always come to the top, training and playing in this group. And I think he's come through those phases very well, and that's what's come with his debut, or his debut to start this past weekend. And we just hope that, as always with young players, he remains humble, works hard, and keeps on going.
Yeah. I can even see it in his conversation with me in terms of that sense of belonging, because we were talking about his autograph this morning, and it's really good. It's really good. He said he's been practicing. He said he's been waiting to use it, and they used it for the graphic to announce his call-up, and he was...
There you go. Maybe I'll ask him for it tomorrow.
I was going to say you should probably ask him for it,
There you
too.
go.
He was actually kind of roasting, I should say, Simon, because, I don't know if you've seen Simon's. We've talked about this before, but...
Similar to yours?
Whoa!
We had I'm pretty sure it was episode 12,
that was
13.
So uncalled for. Mine is better than Simon. Sorry.
It may be on my desk still, but we had some work to do on it.
I know, but all I need to I got to shout out KJ, because it's impressive.
Okay.
He said he's been practicing, and now he's...
No need to sidetrack on your signature.
That was uncalled for,
Yes,
like I
it was.
said. Wow. Okay. Anyways, stay on track here.
Yes.
This isn't the first time that we've seen this. Obviously, Garv's been playing at the international stage for a little bit here this season. Kwesi called up last season as well. And these opportunities aren't as easily accessible, I should say, without the CPL. So what do you think that kind of speaks to about the league and how it kind of blazes the trail for players like these.
No, of course. You look at a player like KJ right now, and like I said, he's had an excellent season in League One Ontario, which is an important, mechanism to the development of players. And then he's a player who's training day in, day out at Forge. He's not a youth player. He's not. From that end where he's in academy football and he's doing that at Sigma, but he's in the environment of professional football every day, and that prepares you for everything. There's no better way to learn in this sport than being with the big boys, and once you're doing well there, it gives you a lot of confidence to keep on moving.
Yeah. Okay, shifting gears one more time here because I want to look ahead to this weekend against Pacific. It's a big game. This is one of those situations where Corey and I were saying you win and you're in. So with that in mind, does that play into the preparation at all, or is that a factor? Well, of course it is. You know what I mean, right?
Well, of course, it's been the tale of what we've been doing these last few weeks. It's you're going into these games with a must-win mentality. We're not in the playoffs, but you're playing these games like they're playoff games, like there is no tomorrow. For us, it's about making sure we're gonna finish as high as possible. Whether that be at the top or second, that's where we want to be, and this is an important game to get us there. Pacific is obviously a very good team. We've had the mixed results with them, 2 wins out in Pacific, and they've gotten us here late in the game. Earlier in the year, but it's one of those games that doesn't matter what happens, you need 3 points at the end, and that gives you a big boost as you keep on moving forward.
Yeah, like you said, they're a good team. You've had mixed results, but now they've clinched a spot as well after Halifax's win against Ottawa. They've kind of been ebbing and flowing, as we've talked about this season as well, but more so recently finding their form again. I think they're coming off a 4-1 win against York. So where do you see their strengths lying?
Yeah, to be honest, at this point, it's nothing against Pacific or any other teams. It's not so much the focus on the opponents, but it's making sure that we're focused on ourselves and we're doing the right things, and that's important for us in this final stretch. And, we talk about it a lot about being the best version of ourselves, but we also have to understand what that is, and so long as our aggressive nature is up, our ability to try and dictate the game. On the ball here at home and making use of this beautiful pitch and the crowd that we have here, which we haven't done enough of in our results, and that's something that we've personally talked about as a team. We want to make sure we finish off strong. We've got 2 home games left, but most importantly, it starts with this one on Saturday.
Yeah. So 2 home games left in the regular season, potentially more in the playoffs. This is my first season with the team, so I wanted to ask how the atmosphere changes, or what do you feel shift when playoffs come and you're able to host a game here at Tim Hortons Field?
Yeah, we love playoffs.
We love playoffs. That's all that needs to be said. I think we've shown that in our history, and we need to keep on showing it in our future. Your history guides you, and it gives you, that confidence as you go forward. But the great thing about history is you always have an ability to write new history, coming up, and that's what we want to be able to do. There's always something special about games, knockout games. We've played a lot of them, both in the CPL and in CONCACAF, and it's just, I think, that extra adrenaline rush that the players get, and even us as coaches, jumping into the crowd.
The preparation for all of that, and the energy of the crowd is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, I'm excited. I want to finish off with one other thing. It was last week I asked you the best piece of advice you've ever received. This week we're going back to a max access question, a get to know you style one. Biggest fear,
open heights.
Really?
Yes.
Open heights?
Yes.
Like, how do you feel about bridges?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
So if you can avoid it, you will?
Yeah, well, if I'm driving on the bridge, no problem.
Fine. Straight ahead.
Walking on a bridge, not going to happen.
You're swimming across the lake.
CN Tower, airplanes, no problem.
Yeah, I was
balcony of a high-rise, problem.
Do you have a balcony in your house?
No.
No, never have, never will. No. Do you have any irrational fears? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a couple of irrational fears.
You going to give us one?
Squirrels.
Yeah. No, not really. No. That's the only one. I
really?
think. Yeah.
Heights?
Yeah.
Okay, what if like a squirrel comes off the side of the road, like jumps?
Why would a squirrel do that?
That's why it's irrational, but it's still scary.
I think cats are more unpredictable and they're
That's
probably
true.
closer to human beings
So
than a
true.
squirrel being close to you.
Okay.
Or maybe a
that's
raccoon
so fair.
for you. I think
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
That I feel like is not even irrational. Raccoons are vicious.
squirrels don't really come close unless you're talking to them, feeding them, giving them something.
Geese.
Geese.
Oh, don't even get me started
Yes.
with geese.
They're
You know what I'm
they're
talking
tricky ones, yeah.
They are
Yes,
mean.
yes.
Yeah, anyways.
But not much outside of that one.
We don't need to talk about wildlife. I just was getting sidetracked there.
There
Okay,
you go.
so heights.
Yes.
Oh, we learn new things every week, I guess.
That's what the show is for.
This is what the show's for. Week 20 next week. We'll be
Big
back.
week. What do we have?
I don't know
Getting
yet.
prepared for 20. Got a week.
I know, I got a week to
All right.
prep.
We'll figure it out.
This has been Behind the Beard with Mackenzie Barwell and Bobby Smyrniotis. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.